Welcome to another Saturday night. No, it's Sunday. Yes, of course, when you retire like me, you forget what day of the week it is. Well, welcome to a Sunday night edition of Taking It to the Nub. Now, tonight I have a very special guest on. Her name is Enid Blanton. She is the owner of Ancestry Cigars. We're going to learn all about Ancestry Cigars. She's got a nice little history to talk about. And she's a Chicago native. She's an Air Force veteran, mom. I mean, it goes on and on and on. She's the first female African American woman cigar brand owner in Illinois. So we're going to have some fun with that. But before we do that, as usual, we're going to have to just do a quick sponsor shout out, and then we're going to bring Enid in. And as soon as that is done,
Is brought to you by Casa Cuevas Cigars. In the 19th century, Juan Cuevas, Spanish immigrant from Santander, began what was to be a family business which now spans 4 generations. Like others fortunate enough to live and work in Pinar del Rio province of Cuba, Juan commenced cultivating tobacco, turning it into a successful business. Years later, in the Ciabo Valley of the Dominican Republic, Luis Cuevas Sr., Juan Jr.'s son, carried on the family tradition of handcrafting fine cigars in the family's cigar factory, Tabacalera Las Lavas. Today, Luis Sr. is joined by his son Luis Jr. in the manufacturing and sale of premium long filler cigars. So check out Casa Cuevas Cigars at www.casacuevascigars.com and on their Instagram and Facebook channels.
Catelli Cigars is back. The past few years brought many questions and changes to the cigar industry. In the wake of all uncertainty, Catelli Cigars decided to take a break and try their hand in the retail side of cigars. With 2 shops under their belt, first Riverside Cigar Bar, and now the Catelli Cigar Lounge in Vero Beach, Florida, they are now more educated in the retail and the wholesale sides of the cigar business. During this time, they received many inquiries about their cigars returning to the market. Making the difficult decision to take a break from their brand was eased knowing that when the time was right, Catelli would be back, and now they are. Catelli is excited to bring their first release, the Catelli Box Air, back to market. The Box Air, a rich box-pressed San Andreas Mexican Maduro with a Nicaraguan binder and filler, come in Box Air's 3 original sizes, Robusto, Toro, and Gordo. You can check out Catelli Cigars at catellicigars.com. And also check out their Facebook and Instagram pages. Enid, welcome to Taking It to the Nub. Man, I think the first time we met was in 2022 at Destination Herf. Because
Yes.
I believe you got one of these too.
Yes, I do. I have it. It's packed up somewhere in my house. I'm still unpacking. I don't know where it is.
Yep. Rookie of the year you were. They
Yes.
gave me Cigar Meter of the Year. What a great
Yes.
party that was. They did a fantastic event.
Yes.
And big congratulations to your son, by the way.
Thank you.
Morehouse College.
Yes. Yes. We finally are done with the festivities. moved in. Classes officially start for him on Monday. I mean, no, on Wednesday. They still have more orientation to go to for the next couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
This mama's tired.
Mm, well, come on,
Tired.
Mama's time. I'm going to see you on Tuesday.
Yes, Tuesday we'll be together, and the stage is set here in Chicago. Our current president came in, him and his wife today,
Oh,
so
wow.
everything's on lockdown.
Yeah. So you sound a little tired.
Yes, I'm
Big
very
long drive you had.
yeah, 10 and a half hours going and 10 and a half hours coming back. So we got back last night. We had to make a couple of stops before we actually got home. So we got home, I want to say about like 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Okay, that's a healthy ride. So
Yes.
Ancestry Cigars. I don't know if you heard me introduce you, but I brought up that you're a U.S. Air Force veteran. You are a mom, a wife. You are the first African American woman-owned cigar brand in the state of Illinois. You've done a lot. Let's just start with Ancestry and give the folks an understanding about Ancestry Cigars and like why the name. What does it really mean to you and to others that see it? And how did you get it all formed?
Well, basically Ancestry Cigars was basically started August 28th of 2000. We are coming up on our 4-year anniversary at the end of this month. I started working on Ancestry Cigars really in about 2018, 2019. And I had decided that the reason why I wanted to do a cigar line is because my husband, who had been working, hello?
Yeah, you there?
Yep, you
Yeah.
froze up.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Who had been smoking cigars for about 30 some years, had turned me on to cigars, and he would take me to cigar lounges, and I would always ask the people that work in the humidors, you know, like where the female brands, and they would always tell me that females didn't get into this industry, and I'm like, no, I don't. I find that very hard to believe that it's not females in this industry. And so I got tired of hearing that basically, to make a long story short. And I decided to start doing my research to find out if it was women in the industry. How do you go about getting into the industry? And then our very first manufacturer, they brought me on and taught me about the cigar business. And that's how the line was created. So Ancestry Cigars at that time when I was working on it, it was to honor my grandmother and my father. But as we went on through the years, everybody knows that in July of 2021, my mom passed. So now it honors her as well.
Okay,
So
so ancestry can mean a lot of things as life goes on,
correct,
honoring your ancestors and such.
correct.
Um, when you started, you said you started, so do you have a different, you work with different factories
At
or
that
you,
time, I worked with a different factory than who I work with now. Now,
okay,
we changed over because we have other things that are coming in 2025, and things just didn't work out with that first factory.
okay, fair enough. Who do you work with today now?
So now we're working with Cordillo Cigars. They're based out of New Jersey, and they have their cigar factory in Santiago.
Okay, very good. When you started this, your husband, you said, liked to smoke cigars. Were you into the cigar culture with him at the time, or
Yeah, I was smoking like at first because we've been together 16 years. So I want to say I've been smoking maybe like 12 or 13 out of the 16 years we've been together. So when we first got together, he was smoking cigars. He would go because he's a union guy. So he would go out with the union, they would smoke or whatever. And you know, the wives, we would be someplace else having our discussions and everything. Or if it was hosted at somebody's house, the wives would be in another room or outside, and the men would be smoking cigars. So I was interested in them. I liked the way they smell and everything like that. And he was like, well, I can teach you how to smoke. but you don't want to inhale because you will throw up. So
Smart man. Smart
yeah, that's
advice.
what happened. So, like, he explained it to me, the history behind it. He was like, back in the day when because he's been in the union now, 32, 33 years. So when he started smoking, he was like, it wasn't any women in the cigar lounges like it is now. He was like, it was us union guys, business guys, when we're in there talking deals and everything like that. And then he was like, if it was a woman in there, it was the girl that worked behind the register or the humidor. He was like, that was it. So now it's popular this day.
It is the largest growing demographic in the industry for sure. Female cigar smokers. And with the culture is inclusive. We embrace all of that. We love it. I love the fact that when I walk into shops that we've gotten to the point where it's no longer, hi, sweetie, let me go get you this like sweet tip cigar.
Exactly,
No,
exactly,
they recognize, everybody's now come to recognize that you're smoking as bold as I'm smoking,
exactly,
maybe even bolder.
exactly, exactly. I get that a lot.
When you started the business, um, did you have any other than your husband, did you have any other mentors that
Yes,
you
I
worked
did.
with that helped you?
I had various mentors. One point, Don Raffel was a mentor of mine. Eric with
Oh,
Black Star Line Cigars was a mentor. Various people mentored me, and I was able to go to them and ask them questions to find out more about the industry, about product, about price points, and everything like that. So I have various mentors. One thing I can say is that out of the mentors, the women, Desiree and Karen, they welcomed me into the industry, with open arms. And they have always, even to this day, if I have any questions or whatever, send an email or call me or text me and we'll get the question answered for you. So it was quite a few mentors. And then I have new mentors now, because as we
okay.
go along in this interview, um, we have some other stuff that I'm getting into that's interesting.
Okay.
Ronnie knows about it. So yeah.
So I like to fit you in a category of number of other brands, new brands,
Mhm.
that I like to call the pandemic brands, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
you all got started in this either right before or right during, and you dove into this thing, and all of a sudden you got hit with this whole craziness. How did you navigate those waters as a new brand?
So basically, a lot of my blends were shipped. So at that time, we were locked down. We couldn't go anywhere. Only thing we could get was mail. So mail and Zoom that we're on right now with my best friends talking back and forth to the factory. So then they would send the blends. Then I would test the blend. Then I would have my little notebook and I'd say, like, if it was like blend number one, I'd say yes, no, maybe so. Or blend number two, yes, no, maybe so. And I would write notes with it. And then we would always schedule a meeting like once a week or once every 2 weeks. And we would sit down and we would discuss and everything and what changes I would want to make and all of the above. Then they would send more blends. So my magic number, when it comes time for me, once I choose a blend, I ask for 11 samples so that I can smoke those samples, because 11 was the number that it took me to get through the blend before I would like it when they would send it. So I've always stuck with 11.
Okay. And
So
then, so it's 11 of the same blend just to
yes, just
do it.
sometimes it might be in a Connecticut wrapper, might be a Habano wrapper, might be in a Maduro wrapper. It all depends upon what type of wrapper I want. And then it'll go through like the different stages from the beginning. Like if I want something more bitter, like even at one point in time, I was thinking about doing a Candela wrapper, but then it didn't turn out right. So I was like, nah, we'll go back to the drawing board. So we go from kind of sort of new rappers to age rappers. That's how I did it when I started the business.
Now,
And
how much did you know about different leaf, different varietals of leaf? different primings of leaf and how they make a difference? I mean, how much of that did you understand when you started this? So when
A
they,
little
you know,
bit. A little bit. So it was a thing where I was, how can I put it? I was learning as I went. So I had knew some things coming into it, but then I had the previous manufacturers were teaching me as we went. So that's what made it easy, the hands-on to learn as I progressed what I was actually looking for and everything like that.
okay, so you kind of went in with more of a profile in mind. I want
Mhm.
something that has, a cocoa note or a coffee note, maybe some creaminess and some pepper, or maybe I want something bold, heavy pepper on the front end, and then they would
To
work with
transition
you
to the
and
three, no, through the thirds, yeah. So that's
okay.
how we based it was really hands-on and it was really trial and error during the pandemic because like I said, we couldn't go anywhere. So all I could do was sit in the house and cook and smoke cigars and work with my son on his schoolwork because everybody I was just talking to a lady today and he was actually the pandemic kid because when he graduated from 8th grade, that was 2000. And then now
Wow.
4 years ago later, he's graduating from high school. So the pandemic built a lot of businesses, especially in the cigar industry. And I wish to a certain extent I could be locked down again because sometimes I draw blanks with what I want to come out with next.
So I was gonna say now as you know more and you've learned over the years, um, do you sit down and say to yourself, instead of a profile necessarily, say, you know what, I want to have a Mexican San Andreas wrapper with a nice Sumatra binder with some Habano filler. I mean, you do any of that
Yeah,
in your
so
head?
basically the new factory, what happens is a lot of people, well, sometimes I tell it, sometimes I don't. When I go to New Jersey, they base my new factory, they actually have their own cigar lounge. So their blenders, it's on my social media. It's been videos, their blenders will come in town or they're already in town and they will literally sit up there and they will freshly hand roll my cigars to help me choose a blend. So I could tell them, like you said, I want a San Andreas wrapper with Habano filler or something like that, and they'll do it right there on the spot. And then what I always do with them is I'll send them what I pre want, am looking for, and they'll already have that, and they'll roll that down there at the factory, let it rest, and then they'll bring that along with them when they come up.
Now, have you gotten to the point where you're just tasting fumas from a bale and say, okay,
Not
this
yet.
this one I like, and if I put this with this and then
Not
smoke
yet.
two of
I'm
them
getting
together?
there. I'm geting there. One of the reasons why I haven't been just tasting it is because I just got $5,000. I had to get implants put in. So that's one of the reasons why I'm not just doing that. Yeah, in the back. So my
Wow.
dentist was like, could you please at least just wait 6 months before you just start? Because he's a cigar smoker. Before you just start chewing it. So,
Wow.
yeah, but not yet. Soon though, soon.
Okay. All right. Because that's always fun to do,
Yeah.
and and it's
It's
kind of
fun,
like,
it's interesting. This whole process is interesting.
I mean, you sound like you like to cook too.
Baking a cake.
Baking a
Yes,
cake?
baking a cake. That's what I call it. Mhm.
Yeah. 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 It's cigars the same thing. You just, we're putting together ingredients and saying, hey, if you know what this ingredient smells and tastes like, you know what this ingredient smells and
Right.
tastes like. You start putting them
Mhm.
together and you come up with a something. Now, of course, the tasting may just work out fine,
Mhm.
but then sometimes that burn doesn't work fine
Yep.
because they don't like to play together all of a sudden.
Exactly. Exactly.
One thing combusts a little faster than others, and I'm sure
Correct.
you've experienced that.
Yes, I've experienced that. I've also experienced dealing with rappers, and especially by me being in the Midwest, having issues with during the transport when they're coming up here to the Midwest. And you're sitting up there, and because of the cold, you know, a lot of times
Yeah.
the rappers, they don't do well being transported in the cold. And if the average person, they just want to grab a cigar and smoke it. They don't want to let it, you know, warm up. But I've
Right.
had all types of issues that I could actually say. But you learn and you grow from those issues. You really do.
Now, when you
So
started the business, how many blends did you start the business with, and then take me to where you are today? If you could walk through some of the blends with us.
so right now, actually, when I first came out, we just did the basic blend. It was at that time we did the same blend for all three of the cigars. So we had Connecticut, the Habano, and the Maduro. It was the same blend. It was basically it gave you all the creamy notes. It gave you coffee. It gave you a little bite on the last third. And then we left those blends and we went to the Lancero, which the Lancero was our best seller, which was the Isis. Because as you know, all of my cigars, except for the one that's named after my mom, the educator, is basically named after Egyptian god or goddess. So we had the Hika, the Horus, and the Amun, which those were basically the basic line. So we're at Isis. Isis is a Lancero, which everybody's been begging me to bring Isis back. And I am thinking about bringing her back in 2025 or maybe 2026 because we're working on something else bigger for 2025. So basically with Isis, she went through the thirds. She was a Maduro Lancero. And she had a lot of spicy notes in it. Like you went through the thirds, it was cream and spice. And I call her cream and spice and everything nice because
Oh, okay.
our feedback was like she's real powerful, but the changes as it's going through the third really helped us. It wasn't bad. So then now we're on the educator, which the educator was supposed to be released this year, but as everybody knows, I put the business on hold this year because it was no way that I was going to be able to run the business and also um, run behind my son with the various things that he had going on this year. And I needed a break. It was a mental thing. It was a lot of mental stuff going on. And some of that stuff had to deal with the loss of my mother. So the educator, as you know, she got Cigar of the Year by Whiskey Network. So she's a box press. She's just beautiful. I mean, she gives you all the creamy notes. The retro hail is very smooth. Her binder is, I hate to say it, when she comes out, she's the shit. She's the shit. We actually are gonna probably start dropping more information in the month of December about her. And then the next thing that I'm currently working on now is that I wanted to change the game in a small aspect for our 5th-year anniversary and start getting into pipe tobacco because as everybody knows and sees me now, I not only smoke cigars, but I smoke a lot of pipe tobacco.
So you're talking just pure pipe tobacco or pipe tobacco in cigars?
Pipe tobacco in pipes, the bowls in pipes.
Okay.
Quite possibly taking one of my blends and making it into a pipe tobacco.
Okay.
And
Interesting.
see how that works.
Hmm. Very, very interesting. So not a, so you're basically, so what you're saying is you're going to take the cigar tobacco and use it as pipe tobacco, just
And
shred
see,
it.
we're actually playing around with that right now, but then we're also playing around with the actually trying to develop a pipe tobacco that matches one of my blends.
That'll be a challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
It's trust me, it's a challenge.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a
yeah.
challenge. It's a
That's
challenge.
is it's things are different, you know. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the combustion, the way things work
Correct.
through. delivery system through a barrel versus
Correct.
a bowl.
Correct.
So be interesting to see how that works out.
Yes.
What is your favorite blend of the ones that you have? Is it the ISIS or is it you have another favorite?
I would actually have to say, let me see. I would say the educator. I know everybody hasn't smoked the educator yet. It's been very few people to smoke it, but that's my favorite blend, and it's honoring my mother. And it basically tells the story when you do get a chance to smoke it of the 43 years that she taught school, how she basically managed that, being a mother, a wife, and all of the other things she had. So when you smoke her, it basically makes you remember like one of your family members that was near and dear to you, be it a female or a male, and it really takes you back and makes you think about certain things in life. So that's my favorite blend out of them all.
Now, do they have special artwork on the bands that kind of tell that story, or has the box got kind of an artwork for the story?
Yeah,
'Cause
so
everybody loves stories, right?
yeah, if you see the educator, actually Jason, Jay Ferg did the design
Oh,
for the
okay.
educator. So he took aspects, and he made it like an education seal so that everybody would know that's the educator. It's in reference to it's honoring my mom. That's what she did. So that's how, like, it basically tells the story. Yes.
Okay. You don't have a picture of that anyway, do you?
No, not on this computer, because this is the new one. So,
Now I know you told me the other day that you're rebranding because I wanted to go to your
mhm,
website. And kind of I always like to pop up the website. So you go to ancestryscigars.com is your website.
yes.
But it's currently not operational. It's being modified. When do you think
Correct.
that your site will be up and running?
We're thinking late October.
Oh, you're doing a lot of
That's what we're
rebranding.
thinking is late October, that
Okay.
everything will be up and running, and I'll be able to give it the time that I need to approve things. Because basically they're sitting up waiting on me. I've been a slow bunny. I have literally, I mean, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, my son was my life. And I wasn't letting anything his senior year. He was like, "Mom, I can't believe that you're not going on tour. You're not doing anything to business." I said, "It's about you this year." So it's a lot of things that people are waiting for me to say yes, no, maybe so. And they're probably sitting in the background saying, "Thank you. He's gone to college." Now she'll answer her email and she'll approve things so we can get stuff rocking and rolling.
There you go. What we're gonna do real quick, we're gonna take one last final sponsor break. When we
Okay.
come back, we'll talk a little more about the cigars and I have some other interesting questions for you,
Mhm.
family wise and things, and
Okay.
we're gonna keep this show rolling. And oh, by the
Okay.
way, that doesn't look like the lake in Chicago behind you. It's
Oh no,
my
that's just in my
backyard.
house. I'll tell you the reason when we come back, the reason why I'm in a different
Oh,
location to do tonight, but I'll explain
okay.
that.
All right, very good. So we'll be
Mhm.
right back.
From the valleys in Honduras to the heart of Louisiana, where excellence thrives, two legacies come together to harvest a new tradition. For many years, Honduras has been a symbol of quality and hard work, inspiring many achievements. At Bocock Brothers, we craft cigars that embody passion and precision, rooted in a commitment to excellence. From the tobacco leaves in the fields to crafting the cigars in the factory, we celebrate our partnership with LSU. Introducing the LSU Commemorative Cigar Collection. Each cigar a tribute to the spirit of excellence that defines both. Join us in this celebration, a symbol of pride, a mark of distinction, a taste of history, crafting excellence together.
And today's show is brought to you by Platinum Nova Cigars. Platinum Nova is a family owned and operated premium cigar company. Only the highest vintage tobacco and the most skilled hand workmanship go into the making of each Platinum Nova cigar. This results in a timeless blend of art and craftsmanship. The Nova brand and the family's work are a tribute and an honor to their grandfather to always remember him and his infinite passion for the finest cigars. Their love for cigars started with their grandfather, a dedicated master blender and entrepreneur in the cigar industry. So the next time you're looking for that exquisite cigar experience, pick up a Platinum Nova. You can check them out at Platinum Nova Cigars, www.novacigar.com, and on their Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter channels. And today's show is brought to you by All Saints Cigars, a company founded in 2019 and headed up by industry veteran Mickey Pegg and his two friends, Martin Corboy, a successful restaurateur, and Frank Leo, an Air Force Academy graduate military veteran. As Mickey explains it, they were all sitting down, talking and smoking cigars, and finally they decided that they would do this thing together. It was time. Mickey said, I decided if I'm going to work hard at it, it should be something I love. Besides, a tough day with a cigar is better than a great day doing anything else. Soon after, they began the process of launching All Saints Cigars, jokingly referring to themselves as the Holy Trinity, St. Michael, St. Martin, and St. Francis. They chose for their logo the cross of St. James, the patron saint of Nicaragua, the country where their cigars would be produced. You can check out All Saints Cigars at www.allsaintscigars.com.
Okay, let's come back to Need.
Yes.
Ha! Without those sponsors, the show's always a little harder to do.
Yeah.
I love the new Bocock one for LSU. Do you see that commercial?
Yes. Have you tried it yet?
Not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
I'm sure I'll get myself one or two, but yeah, that's a big thing that they push for. So that should be pretty cool. I love those guys. They're really good people.
Yes.
So coming back to the brand and to your life in general, your son now, like you said, he started Morehouse. Does your son smoke cigars? Does he dabble in it
No.
too? You keep away from that? Does he
No.
tell his friends all about you and say, "Hey, man, my mom's in the cigar business"?
Let's just say I went to Morehouse and they already knew who I was. It's actually started Morehouse here. They have like throughout the country, they have alumni associations for Morehouse. So the Spell House here in Chicago had a picnic not this past Saturday, but the Saturday before last. Well, I just came out there to the picnic, the family was out there and everything, and I had on a plain Ancestry Cigar tank top. Wasn't even paying attention. I woke up that morning, I was like, okay, we're going to the park. Let me throw on some jeans, some shorts, t-shirt. There we go. So a guy came up to me and he was like, I heard the owner from Ancestry Cigars is here in Chicago, and I'm trying to get a hold of her because I wanted to know if she could do something for our poker games at Morehouse, because he was like, I host poker games. He was like, it's the teachers and myself, which I'm a teacher assistant and everything. So I just want to know, if you know how to get in contact with her. I said, really? I said, yeah, I know how to get in contact with her. So I just kept talking and talking. And so he was like, well, does she really live here and everything? I said, yeah, she lives here. She lives here. He was like, is it really a woman or is it a man saying that, it's a woman brand owned? I said, no, it's really a woman. So we kept talking and kept talking. I said, I'm the owner. So he was like, you're not the owner. So he literally goes on my social media page on Instagram. He pulls up a picture of me and he takes his phone and puts it next to my face. So I took my glasses off and he was like, it is you. I was like, it's me. So it was really funny. So they were like, well, who are you here for? And I was like, well, my son's going to Morehouse and everything. And so that's when they told me about the poker games. That's when they asked me, when things get back up and running, can I start supplying the cigars? And then I told them, I said, please do not disturb my son. Either send me an email or I gave him my direct phone number to call me. I said, do not disturb him. He's getting used to it. So that's when they were asking him, well, how come you don't smoke cigars? He's like, I'm not ready for it. I'll probably be in a few years. He's like, but I just don't like the smell.
There you go. That's fair. That's fair. But now you got the door open. You might have, maybe there's a Morehouse cigar coming out soon.
I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
A
I'll
Morehouse
supply.
poker cigar. You know.
I'll supply it as long as they paying.
Yeah, right. There you go.
Yep.
Now, when you got started, you obviously had to get eventually once everything was settled to get on a distribution. Are you in shops online? I mean, can I buy your
Yes,
cigars online when the site opens up, or is it only in shops?
no, it's only gonna be in shops because we
Good.
stopped doing online. Like, I'll tell you offline, but if it's a special person to me, you can get it. But other than that, we're sending everybody to the cigar lounges because we really want to support the cigar lounges. Our cigar lounges, especially here in the state of Illinois, like they come and go. So we're trying to hold on to them as best as we quite possibly can. And, especially when we were doing single sale cigars, we really weren't making that much money. We made more money with them being sold to the lounges and go from there. Now, if it's in my personal stash and you send me a text message, hey, can I get such and such, I'll send it to you as a gift. But other than that,
Right.
no, it's straight lounges. And then a lot of the lounges, since we're going through the rebranding, I've really had to take a step back and really look at their numbers. Is it profitable for my brand to be in that lounge? Or should we start switching to lounges and just selling out of lounges that were really doing well with us and just having maybe, and if it was 6 in that area or in that market, maybe taking it down to 1 or 2.
No, you only in the Chicago market?
No, we were in Illinois, Indiana, Ohio, Michigan, Oklahoma, we were in Florida, and we were in Atlanta. So now we're going to, and Wisconsin. So now we're going to still keep Indiana. Michigan, we're looking for a new lounge up there because the lounge we were in closed. Ohio, we're going back to them. They're going to be a lounge exclusive because basically what I want to do is what I've been talking with my board members about is having lounge exclusives for us, which means like almost, which basically means they sell Ancestry cigars. You can't go to any other lounge in that state and get an Ancestry cigar. So that's
In the
what we're
state or in a city?
like basically we're doing in that city, and then we're talking about in that state. I don't know, the board is
Wow.
crazy. I don't know how they're gonna do that, but
That's super exclusive. I mean, I would
yeah.
think spreading it around different cities would make sense.
Yeah, but we're
No.
still debating and working some things out and having conversation about that because me personally, I want at least 3 lounges per state period. And that could be 1 in each city, depending upon how many cities. Like if we're talking about Texas, we could do Dallas, we could do Houston, and then, maybe San Antonio. We could do it that way if we were talking about Texas. So, yes. We're changing some things that needed to be changed, especially if we want to continue to grow.
Now, in Chicago area, does it make a difference if you're north side, south side? Do you have more presence in one or the other? Does that make
No,
a difference in the cigar world? I don't know. I don't know enough about Chicago,
not
but I want to learn
really.
about
I
it.
mean, not really, because honestly, except for one lounge that's up north that's gonna pick us up when I come back. We were mostly in the south side area
Mhm.
and we were in Indiana. So that was cool because at that time I lived on the south side, which now I'm in the western suburbs. I'm literally like 13 minutes away from Oak Brook. But it's not going to change in terms of, am I going to move all the sales to where I am? No. It's just now I don't want to have to deal with that anymore. So we are talking with a few put people to do distribution for us, because I no longer want to do that. I just want to show up now.
Well, that was going to be my next question
Yeah.
is, when you have an ancestry event,
Mhm.
what is an ancestry event at a lounge like? Give me the
Um,
experience.
well, we basically used to be a turn up brand. I'm not even gonna lie. And I got to the point where that got to be so tiresome and consuming. And I found myself that I would end up at the lounges to at least 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. And I didn't want to do that now anymore. So now, the past few years, the experience went to 4 hours. And basically we would pre-sale to the lounge. And in their package, just depending upon how much they spent, it would be 4 hours. We would come in, we would talk about the brand, take pictures, raffle off swag, stuff like that. We haven't started doing any events where we actually pair it with a dinner, not unless somebody hires us to do it on a, outside other than a lounge. It's basically I call it chill with the owner. That's what I do.
Okay.
And you get to know, like, actually have interaction with me and learn about the brand and get to know me and the backstory and everything like that. Because one thing I pride myself on, and I tell anybody this, no matter where you see me, you can come into Chicago, and if you ask me, hey, E, I want to know such and such about the brand, I could be at Walmart scanning my groceries, and I'll stop and I'll talk to you, because that's just the type of person, down to earth person I am. I never take for granted what I have been blessed with. And I never take for granted my customers. I always make time for my customers.
And the consumers love that, I'm
Mhm.
sure.
Yep. They
Now,
love to have it.
when you have an event like that, um, you give box specials, you have different
Mhm.
specials. I don't know how it is in Chicago, what they allow,
We
but
have we have box specials. Now what we're getting ready, we're actually adding on to the list for 2025. We're gonna start finally doing 5 packs. And we are going to add other things onto it. One thing that we actually debuted this past Monday, we did Operation Troops. And our team that golf for Operation Troops, they had actually golf towels that had the Ancestry Cigar logo on there. And I actually have to put that up tomorrow to, thank them for inviting us. So we did that. And that's something that we said that we were gonna probably add to, when we do the events, like little things that people, because I golf a lot. So I try to add stuff on that myself, our consumers, whatever, like if I could get a basketball with our logo on it, I would. A bowling ball with our logo, I would. So things that, would be nice to have as raffle gifts, or just to have in general to draw people in.
so where are you at right now with swag? You got hats, shirts, and
We have
then
tank tops, we have t-shirts, we have hoodies, and we also, and I, if you see me sometimes, I walk around with a hoodie dress, and all the women have been asking me, could you put that in could you put that in, apparel for you all to have? And I'm like, no. I need to have something for myself. And then we have like the little coasters. We have those too.
you don't do cutters or anything like that.
Now we're actually thinking about, that's one of the things, because some of the stuff,
Ashtrays.
some of the stuff I don't want to bring back in 2025. So we're thinking about adding cutters on. And we had ashtrays at one point in time. And then the young lady stopped making them. She's not in the ashtray business anymore. So now we got to get somebody else for ashtrays. But we had those.
Okay. And
So
and as a veteran, did you do much work with Cigars for Warriors?
no, mostly all of my stuff that I do here in Illinois is with either Operation Troops or else the Veterans of America. I do a great deal with the VOA, because we actually I put it up on social media. Last week we actually just donated stuff for 50 book bags so that they could pass out, and they passed them out this past Wednesday and Thursday to the different veteran properties that they have children. It was myself and other sponsors that sponsored the book bag giveaway. And then I also do with them, I did stuff for them for Mother's Day. And I also do stuff big with them for the winter, where we collect socks for the veterans, and they go out and they pass it out to the veterans that are here that are homeless.
Okay.
So I'm real big with those two organizations.
So are you excited about Up Down on Tuesday?
I'm actually excited. I want to see what's going to happen.
Are you in that lounge?
No, I'm not in that lounge. Actually, one of my dear friends, she works there. We've been friends ever since we were 14 years old. And she keeps saying, when you come back, you need to get us, because she's like the general manager, you need to get in our lounge. I've told them all about you. They're just waiting for you. So we're not in that lounge. Close proximity that we still have inventory in Tobacco Land, which is in Munster, Indiana on Calumet Avenue. We still do have some inventory in there, but that's the last of the inventory out of all our outlets. I'm very excited about Tuesday.
I
We
heard
shall see.
it is sold out. Okay,
Yes.
as far as reservations go, because some
Yep.
people ask me, I send them a link and they're like, can't get any more, they're done. So I said, I'm glad I got my reservation in early because I'm flying
I
up this
might
week.
have extra tickets.
So,
I'm not going to
okay.
tell anybody.
Oh, you just told the whole world.
I know it has perks for being here in Chicago that some of
Yeah.
us have extra tickets. But
No,
yeah,
I am looking forward to it. I do hope there are some, for those that are listening and don't know what we're talking about, on Tuesday at Up Down Cigar Lounge in Chicago, the PCA is hosting a gathering, okay, for the DNC. And basically, I would imagine there's going to be some dignitaries there. Hopefully, there'll be, maybe congressmen and senators if they're coming in for the cigar, pro cigar type people. We don't have as many on the Democratic side as you have on the Republican side, but there are some that are on the Congressional Cigar Caucus, I believe. I'm hoping some of them show up. It'd be nice to sit down and have a conversation and hear them talk about what they're going to help do for us moving this all
Exactly.
forward.
And that's one of the reasons why I've been really pushing the lounges here, especially in Chicago, the new lounges that have came on the scene to really join the PCA, because we need them to join the PCA so that they can get the PCA to push for legislation here in the state of Illinois. Because a lot of people don't understand our tax is high on cigars. 36%
Yeah, where are
is
you
high.
on that? Where is it? On is it on wholesale?
Like for wholesale, yeah. And it's in like so basically here in Illinois, so if you have a lounge in Chicago, you pay the Illinois tax, you pay the county tax, and you pay the city tax. So that can be very expensive. So let's say, prime example, one of the lounges I go to and I buy a cigar. Now, if that cigar is like $13, by the time you get finished adding those taxes on, it might be $15, $16.
Yeah, it's getting close. It's close to
So,
New York. That's close to New
yeah,
York type pricing. Yeah.
So we
And that's
really
a
need
tough
to.
market because, I mean, in one way, it could be somewhat beneficial to some of the small brands if you have cigars in that $13 range. Because then, when you go into the higher ends and you start to looking at cigars that are costing upwards of $17 to $18 normal MSRP, that could really hurt the wallet. So somebody's looking at it and saying, well, okay, well, maybe this one over here is only $16 where that one's now $30. So it's like, I'll buy one of these and maybe it's one of yours. But it's still painful. It's just a very painful process. And it definitely is hurting the business, especially since the pricing across the board
Mhm.
has gone up over the last couple of years. We've had inflationary pressures across the board. Cigars are not immune from that.
Nope.
Um, I mean, you've probably seen your numbers have gone up, what,
Oh, yeah.
$2, $3 a
Oh,
cigar?
yeah. Actually, the factory was just
You can,
talking to me. What was that? We had a conversation in June, and they said, "We hate to tell you, but you're gonna have to go up on your cigars." I said, "Can we can we talk about something else?" They were like, "You're gonna have to," and I'm just my biggest thing is if we go up, and especially if I'm at outlets here in Chicago and say I have to go up on my basic line to like my basic line right now is $10. I have to go up on it to 12, then they're selling that stick to consumers probably 14, $15. That's a basic
right.
stick,
Yeah,
so
that's what I mean. That's
what
difficult
do you
on
do?
everybody.
Yeah. So what do you do? But hopefully on Tuesday we can have those conversations that we need to have. It's also conversations in here in Illinois beside the taxes that we need to have in terms of why cigar lounges cannot have liquor license
Oh, you
like
can
they
can you
do.
do can you BYOB,
Yes, you can be YOB, but the
but they
lounges cannot
can't have a
have.
liquor license?
No, they can bar a bar and cigars cannot be together like a bar and food can't be together either. They have to be separate, which is crazy. I don't
I
know
guess
why.
this is wait, a bar and food can't be together?
Mm-mm.
That
No.
makes like so how so if
Like
I
mostly
wait,
people when they eat, if you go to a cigar lounge when they eat, they bring their food in. Not unless you're
okay,
having an event there or something.
I get that in the cigar lounge, but a bar and food don't go. How does that work with a restaurant? I
No,
can't
a
wait.
bar, no, what I'm saying, a bar and cigars don't work.
Oh,
They don't
bar
go
and
together.
cigars.
Yeah, they don't
They
allow
don't
that.
get they don't allow
Mm-mm.
that.
It's only BYOB.
And I could bring my own food in, but
Mm-hmm.
they can't serve food.
Correct.
Can they serve packaged food like in like potato chips?
They can serve potato chips. Like one of the lounges I go to, she has like potato chips and like cookies in a pack. And then she has like water and pop and juice like that, but other than that, they can't serve food. Now, if you have a party in there, you can bring your own food in. But
Okay.
other than that, they can't serve food. So, like down in Florida, how you can go to a lot of the lounges and some of them you can get like food as well. While you're sitting there smoking, or if you're in Atlanta, you can get food while you're sitting there smoking, but not here in Chicago. You have to go and get your own food.
What are the rules on outside smoking? As far as, if are you allowed to walk through the streets with a cigar?
I do. People do.
I mean,
I mean, they don't.
is there a
They
law
don't have a
against it?
law. Only thing they have, in Illinois, well, that I know of in Chicago, is that you're not supposed to be smoking in the park districts, but people still do it. Okay,
Right. Right.
because I mean, the police need to be concerned about the crime here. Damn, somebody smoking, anything. But really, our restaurants, it's no
Mhm.
smoking at the restaurants, no outdoor on the patios or anything
So
like that.
you can't have an outdoor patio
And smoking,
and
mm-mm,
smoke. No, so
no,
that's taboo.
no.
Done.
Yeah. Mostly the people that do it, they do have it, it's out in the suburbs. Because the suburbs are kind of sort of more lackadaisical than the city, because I hate to say it, the city is trying to tell you what you should put in your body, like all of America is, and
Mhm.
you know, you can't tell a grown person what to put in their body.
No.
It's simple. They still go do it. But, hopefully soon, like other states, and I tell them at great lengths, when I go to other states, I can have a cigar and I can get something to eat right then and there, and I can have an alcoholic beverage, and I don't have to carry around my bottle,
Yeah,
you
right. I
know,
mean,
and everything like that. It's really convenient to go to, states like that where they don't care. Like,
right.
pay your taxes, do what needs to be done, and that's on you if you kill yourself.
And
You
they don't
know?
allow beer and wine either in, so it's a strict no
We
alcohol sales of any nature.
Yep. But the lounges, like one of the lounges I frequent, which mostly all of them, they have to have it. They have to have basically the liquor insurance because they're BYOB, just like you have at a bar.
Oh, I see.
So it's pretty interesting, as they say.
So they're losing revenue, man. That's like makes no
Yeah, because you
sense.
can go over to Indiana. When we used to live on the south side by where they're building the Obama Center, it took us like maybe 25, 30 minutes to go to Element Cigar Lounge. I could eat in the lounge, I could sit up there and get an alcoholic beverage, and I could get my cigar. So it's like a lot of people were taking flight over to Indiana to put lounges over there because they can do it as opposed to Illinois. And the taxes aren't as high as it is over here.
Yeah,
So,
some of these states they don't understand that the revenue that they're going to lose. I mean, the consumer, like you said, the consumer wants to have this. It's a legal product. And they
exactly.
want to consume this legal product, and you're going to make it difficult for them to consume it. Therefore, you're going to lose revenue, and everybody complains about they don't have enough revenue to run their city. Well,
Exactly.
fix the problem. That's an easy fix. Change the law. Boom, you can do that.
But you know, with
Have the
cigars
revenue.
anyway, they equate cigars that teenagers are going to take cigars to do marijuana, which they're not because
Then you
it's
got
like,
it's legal in Chicago now, right?
yeah, we have dispensaries all over the place.
So nobody's doing that anymore. Matter of fact, they're going in. They got the special things that they got all of that for them
Pipes.
right in the shop, right?
But yeah, but the thing about it is a lot of them, they're saying that you have like the older generation, like the baby boomers and all that, they're going to the dispensaries, but the teenagers, they're still buying it off the street because I mean, I don't know why.
Because they can't get it in the shop because they're underage.
Yeah, and then to the taxes, because they tax them so much on, when you're buying it from the dispensary, not unless you have a medical card or something like that.
Oh, I see.
But, they don't want to pay the taxes. And a lot of them are like, hell, 14, 13, getting high. So you just can't go in the dispensary and buy. So it's a mess. It's like, what's really going on? But I really do feel as though
this is not the gate, those two, I think we've been able to help beat that one down over the years in our courts to say this is that, you don't find 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds going out and buying, and in today's market, $12, $13, $14 cigars to take it apart, put something in it. Okay.
Correct.
They're just not doing
that. No.
And shops, and the thing is that those that own shops understand the rules, and the people that are patrons of the shop know the rules. So when the kid walks in the door, we'll escort them out before the owner even gets involved.
Exactly. They're not. If anything, what they're doing is I know here, having been to a gas station, they'll go to the gas stations and some of these gas station owners, they're selling cheap cigars or they're selling the swishers.
Well, they got acid, so I'm sure.
And they'll get those and they'll go and get those and they'll, roll up marijuana with. But they're not coming into cigar lounges. They running as far away from it as they can, not unless it has hookah. Now, if it has hookah, yeah, they're coming in there. But other than that, no. Not at all.
So that's allowed. That's an allowed crossover. Hookah and
you have. Well, in the city, you don't. No, wait, I don't know of any lounges that I frequent that they sell hookah, but it's in the suburbs. They do have cigar lounges that they do hookah as well.
Yeah, I don't like being in lounges that have hookah.
No,
like I was at a PCA event a number of years ago. It was at IPC-PCR at the time, and they had hookah, manufacturers there. And what they did is they didn't have like a separate zone for them. They kind of intermingled them in the pathways. So you'd be sitting down, smoking a cigar with a brand owner, And he would say, well, how does that, what do you think of that? And meanwhile, all you're smelling is strawberry or coming across
You know, TPE
from
does
the
that.
hookah. And, well, yeah, but see, and we all
Mhm.
looked at the PCA at the time and said, you can't do this. This is just
Mm-mm.
put them in their own. If you're going to allow them, just put them
Mhm.
in another place, okay?
Exactly.
Because I don't want to be smelling strawberry when I'm trying to
Smoke
test
my
a cigar.
cigar. Yeah,
You
that's true.
know,
But TPE does that, you know.
but that's a
I'm
different
good.
kind of
Yeah, I
event.
just don't go to the back. I just stay up.
I always venture into the back at the last day because I just like to see. What blows my mind at TPE is the amount of money in marketing and advertising that they do compared to our small little industry. And if you really want to get a grip on the difference between these two industries, between, the cannabis and CBD type industry versus the premium cigar industry,
Mhm.
the dollars just eclipse us and what they
Mhm.
do. I mean, it's just massive. I was talking to a guy one time, and he had gummies, and I asked him about it. He goes, "Yeah, I did about $500,000 yesterday."
Huh?
He wrote $500,000 in orders on one day. All right. And you just sit there and you're like, how many brands would just love to have a
$1
$500,000
million
order
in one day. Yeah.
in a day?
Cannabis is becoming real. That industry, they
You
making a
know,
lot of money. A lot.
it's big dollars. There's so
Mhm.
many more people. I mean, there's only 2% or so of us in the whole country that smoke cigars.
Exactly.
Just multiply that out. I'll venture to say there's at least 20% or more of the population, probably more, in the United
Yeah.
States that indulge in the other
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
So
Well, all I can say is everybody gets high.
in one way or another, somebody,
Yeah,
right?
well, for real, it's funny, it's like literally when I go past the dispensaries and it's 420 day and they have specials and people are standing out line and the line is going around the building. I'm like, oh wow, how many cigar lounges wish they could have that when a line is
Yeah.
like around the building. So
I mean,
it's really funny.
we have National Cigar Day. You don't get lines like that.
No, we don't. Mm-mm. They give them free stuff. I was like, what do you get free? Oh, you can get like some, like you said, like some gummies, or you can get this, or you can get that if you spend a certain amount of money. I was like, what in the world? Are you serious? They were like, yeah. I'm like, okay. They say, all right. But yeah, it's really interesting. So PCA, I mean, next year, did you hear the news?
Well,
Davidoff is gonna be
I
there.
know we're in New Orleans. What other news am I supposed to
Davidoff is
get?
gonna be there.
Oh yeah, Davidoff's going to be that
Yes,
absolutely. So they're coming
I'm
back. That's
happy.
a good thing. I am too.
I'm happy. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we've gone through some
Yeah.
roller coaster. I mean, Drew Estate come back last
Back.
year.
Yep.
Okay, they brought Davidoff back.
Mhm.
They did some good things. They've now allowed the media to come in for free.
That's
Okay,
great.
because they realized that TPE set a certain bar, and
Mhm.
there was this push that people said, "Well, I go TPE, and it's not the same. It's not the same experience, but you're still having a good time doing stuff." Now, what I would like them to have is a much better main event because
Yeah.
TPE throws a rocking concert.
We need
Okay.
Drew Estate to do that one.
Right? I mean, they just throw this
Yeah,
incredible party,
they
opening night
do.
party. All
They
right.
do.
And
Free food, free liquor, people fall in the
oh
pool.
man,
They
live
do.
bands and people swimming in. Oh yeah, it's a terrific fun moment. But
Yes, it is.
they need to do that instead of just having this sort of derby thing where you just hang out for an hour or two and you leave and go on your way. I mean, I would,
Yeah.
but again, do we have the draw for all of that? Is that, the money that is spent on that is not necessarily coming directly from. I mean, I know Drew Estate sponsored the TPE one that year,
Mhm.
okay, but they had other, and they had the other industry also was involved pretty heavily in it, so they kind
Yeah.
of split the cost, I'm sure.
Yeah,
We'll
which the
see.
other industry, they pretty much have taken over TPE. It's like, I don't know.
Maybe we could talk to Josh on Tuesday.
I know, be like,
See,
Josh, can we
get the
have a true
party, man.
estate party?
Can you guys figure out how to have a real party?
But you know what he's gonna say, gonna be like, we're already having a real party. We're in New Orleans. Yeah, that's true too. Say for 2 years.
Yeah, that's
That's
true. You
true.
step outside, it's a party, right?
But what you have to come up here for, when you see Ronnie, you need to come up and check out the pipe show. It's off the chain. They have cigar vendors there too. The cigar section's gonna be even bigger next year in May. You need to come up and check that out. It's awesome. It's off the chain.
Yeah,
You'll have
what's his
fun with
name's
that too.
involved in that too now, is Ish is involved in
Yep,
that.
it is. All of them are involved. So you need to come check it out. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll let
looking
I'll let
forward
Ish
to it.
know. No.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. It's after we come back from PCA, so that'll be fun.
I was just hanging with him at his house last week. We had a lot of fun. Did a
Well, you
little
hang out with
barbecue.
everybody because you're in Florida.
It is a mecca. Yes, it is.
Everybody's in Florida.
It's kind of easy to just kind of, drive down 95, make a phone call, and you
Hey,
can
I'm on my way.
hit places, and I do have some fun with that. I don't
When I
exhaust that, but we only have one car in the house, and primarily my wife uses. I'm being retired. I never leave this area. This is my 400 square foot space in my house. This
Oh
is
my
it
God.
where I live.
Yeah, when you come to Florida, I tell people that when I come there, I prepare myself not to sleep because I know I'm gonna be up and I'll be with this one and that one and the other one and so and so and so and so. And then I get to the airport in Miami, I'll be so pissed off. I'll be like, why do I have to go back to Chicago? Why can't I just stay?
There you go.
Just stay here.
Well,
And then
next
I
time
start,
you fly into Orlando, and then you take the Bright Line down to Miami.
yeah,
You can take the high-speed rail now, so you could do a little time in Orlando
window.
and
I
then
heard
shoot
about
down to
that. Somebody
Miami.
told me that you could take the bright line down there.
Now it's operational. So
Wow.
I've been on that, not from Orlando, but I've been on that from like West Palm or somewhere like that. It's a nice ride. It's a beautiful train. I mean, it really does smooth ride. Get a couple of drinks and you just hang out and you take that nice ride down to Miami.
Yeah, good.
And
Oh,
that
I
way you
need
can
to.
hit two
Yeah.
areas.
Yeah, I'll probably come to Miami when it's not hurricane season. You all have been having rough weather down there, so I'm good.
Ah, man, we just had one storm. This other one, Ernesto's out in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean destroying
No,
Bermuda.
I'm good. I'm good. I'll see you after December 1st, all the way up until June 1st. I'm good.
You don't
I'm
get
good.
tornadoes?
Yes, we do. I've been in tornadoes. I mean, I'd rather
I'll
be in
take
a
this.
tornado.
I'll take a hurricane over a tornado any day of the
I'd
week.
rather be in a tornado than to end up in the ocean with the sharks or the sharks swimming in my backyard.
I can get away from a hurricane. I know 4 days in advance what's going on with a
We
hurricane.
have some friends that they're gonna be an hour outside of Tampa and they're having a house built down there. So they just got the plans approved and I think they start building a house in September. And they were like, well, you can come visit. And I'm like, not during hurricane season.
No, you gotta wait till November.
And they're from Chicago. So I'm like, you really want to go to Florida? I was like, have you all? So their kids live down there.
Oh, okay.
And that's why they're moving down there. And I'm like, are you sure you want to experience a hurricane? They were like, well, we want to be close to the kids. And I'm like, have fun. I'll see you during non-hurricane season.
Now, why you got your palm trees and beach behind you?
Yeah. Pretty soon it'll be fall and winter up here. Actually, the reason why I have on a hoodie is because it's been chilly. And I literally just came back from down south, last night. And it was in the upper 90s down there. And so here, when we got home last night, it was like about 68. And I was like, whoa. So this week, it's not supposed to heat up until next week. But we've had a lot of storms.
Yeah. Well, I looked at the weather report for Tuesday. It doesn't look bad. It looks like a nice day.
Yeah, it's going to be in the 70s?
Yeah, I'll take 70s. It goes down to they said low 60s at night, and
yeah.
I'll take that. I got a jacket. I'll just wear my nice sport jacket and I'll be just fine.
I'm looking at the weather now. Tuesday's going to be 74 with a low of 60.
I'll take that any day of the week.
And then
Nice and
Wednesday
pretty.
morning when you wake up, it's gonna be 55.
That's okay. I'll wake
I'm
up at a
good.
hotel and go right to the airport. Because I'm staying at Midway, so I'm flying out of Midway and staying in Midway. So just
The
boom,
airports are
boom.
crazy right now here. Like literally
Are they?
crazy. Yes, they
Well,
are. So
because of the event.
yeah, so I'm 20 minutes away from O'Hare and the president landed today. So I was literally outside walking the dog and I see all of these helicopters and stuff. And I'm like, that looks like Air Force One. And it was getting ready to land. They were clearing the airspace so it could land. And that was pretty cool. Especially now that we're closer to O'Hare. But like I have friends who work at the airport, they say it has been crazy
Yeah.
with
Well,
these
that's why I
people
figured
coming
I'd fly into Midway because I don't fly into O'Hare anyway when I go to Chicago. I
in.
prefer Midway. It's an easier in and out
Mhm.
airport
Yeah.
than O'Hare is. It has a little more crazy for me.
O'Hare's
So
beyond crazy.
so this is the point in the show. We're moved along. We're getting close to the end of our show. Let's talk a little more about Enid, the person. Okay. So we know that you're Air Force veteran. What did you do in the Air Force?
I was an air emergency equipment inspector. So basically, what I did with planes was I crawled up into the plane or walked up the ramp to get in the plane. If it's a cargo plane, hooked up the device to check the emergency equipment on the plane and make sure that it was safe for the pilots to fly. If not, take it out of service and let them know that such and such needed to be fixed. That was my time in the military. I am a disabled vet. I am actually my new license plates will be coming in soon. Hopefully, I should have those by the end of September. So everybody will see me speeding around with Enid on the license plates, and it'll say disabled vet. I like now I'm at a point where I'm an empty nester, as everybody knows, because it happened so quickly. I blinked and he's in college. So it's a lot of things on the horizon. My husband is probably going to retire. I say within the next 2 or 3 years. He's still debating because his job offered him a wonderful extension package. So it's not looking like he wants to retire anytime soon.
Yeah,
Um,
that'll keep you on if they offer it
y-
good.
yeah. So I mean, I like to golf. I like to fish. I like to hunt. You'd be surprised at the things that I like to do. I volunteer a lot. Other things that I have on the horizon is going back, working on some more things, certificates in business, for business leadership and stuff in school. Since the real estate business, we don't even know where it's gonna go. I decided to put on hold, to go ahead and complete my real estate license because with now you can't charge the customer and all of this mess that's going on. It's
Oh, the whole
like,
thing changed. Yeah,
yeah,
that just
it's
happened this past week.
yeah, so it's like, I don't think I'm gonna sit for that test. I'll wait. But it's just basically living, living life and, just enjoying being an empty nester and building a business, building a brand and keep on moving. That's all. That's it. That's all. That's me,
What do
stuff in.
you what do you do for music? What's your music genre?
Oh my God. Everything from rap to get me charged up to R&B to rock. Actually, one of my favorite groups is Coldplay. And I've been watching like, are you guys coming back to the United States? Are you guys gonna come back? Because the last time they were here in Chicago, I've seen them twice here in Chicago and it was awesome. Their show is like off the chain. Um, I mean, like because a lot of people don't know, I was in marching band and all that stuff. I was a nice Catholic school girl. So I was in marching band and symphonic band. A lot of people don't know that about me. And I actually went to
What
a
did
Catholic
you
hall.
what did you
I
play in the
played
marching
I
band?
played the flute and the piccolo.
Oh, okay.
So I was in marching band and symphonic band, and I went to all girl Catholic high school.
I played the
So,
bugle.
oh Jesus, the bugle. I'm sorry.
You Yeah, I
Sorry.
wasn't very good at it. I could play
Yeah.
reveille.
Yeah. And one thing I think I'm gonna go ahead and do next year is I've always wanted to go to Kentucky Derby. So I told my husband I think that could be my 45th birthday present is let's go to the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah,
'Cause I wanna
that's
go.
something I wouldn't mind going to
I wanna
myself.
go. I really, really wanna go. So, but that's basically me.
I haven't told my wife yet what I really want to do for my 65th in November. Just like
My
that's a
husband's
big
65th
day.
is in December. That's his birthday party. And I came back and he was like, well, okay, I want this, I want that, I want the other. I said, can we please just hold off until September 1st? And you can tell me everything that you want, because what we're gonna do, ever since we've been together, his birthday parties have always been at night. So this year for his 65th, we're doing a brunch. And then we're gonna take 3 hours off and go into the cigar smoking party that night. So
Okay.
we're gonna start the brunch at 11 o'clock in the morning to go to 4. Then we'll take a couple of hours off, and then we'll start the birthday party that night at the cigar lounge from 8 to midnight. And then the next day is football, so then we'll have a football party, and then that Monday is his 65th birthday. So,
Ah,
but he
good
also
thing.
wants to go see Gregory Porter will be here December 14th. So at the Chicago Theater. So he wants to go see him because he's a real big fan of Gregory Porter.
Right.
So I have a friend that works down there. So they were like, well, maybe we'll just give him that for his 65th birthday present. I was like, that sounds like a plan.
That sounds like a nice birthday present.
Yes. So, but yeah, he's in a 65 club too. Right now he's down. I asked everybody to pray for him because he fell ill when we got back. He is actually in emergency room as we speak. So I've
What?
been periodically, yeah,
What
periodically
happened?
looking. So his blood pressure, and then he ended up getting a wound on his leg, and the wound spread. So literally, he did not want to go to the emergency room. We were in Atlanta. He was
Is
like,
this not a flesh-eating bacteria, is it?
we don't know. So he's there now, and they're running tests,
Oh,
and they're getting his blood pressure under control. But they think his blood pressure spiked because he was in pain. And all while we were in Atlanta, my son and I were trying to get him to go to the emergency room, but he wouldn't.
wow.
So we get back, and he finally goes this morning. So I am back and forth because good thing that the hospital he goes to is 10, 15 minutes from the house. So I was able to come back because I couldn't get a signal. That's why I told you give me 5 minutes because I wasn't able for some reason get a signal,
Yeah.
a good internet signal at the hospital. So I ran home and I'm here.
All
So, but
right.
he's
Well, let
fine.
them know we're all thinking about them.
Thank you, I will. And he's sleeping. The nurse texted me, it was like, oh, he's sleeping, everything's good. So I told him when I finished, I would come back up there and sit until they let him go home or decide what they're gonna do.
All righty then. Well,
So.
I guess then that's our show. Hopefully we can end it on a good note, but
Yes, he's good. He's gonna be good. Like I said, he's strong. He's been through some things, but he's good. I've got faith and prayer that he's gonna be okay. So.
all righty. Okay, folks, that's our show today. If you're in Chicago and you're gonna be at the PCA event, I'll see you there. If not, I don't know. There's got to be a place for me to eat somewhere near there. I know maybe we can get together. But if not, I'll see whoever's going to be there, and
Yeah.
we'll try to see who we line up for next week. With
Okay.
that, I'm going to give you the last word, Enid.
Well, thank you for inviting me to join the show. I look forward to working with everyone and seeing everyone in 2025. We have big things coming. Thank you all for being patient with me throughout 2024. I'm refreshed. I'm ready to get back out there and to see my customers and my lounges and everyone. I miss you guys, and I'm coming back.
All righty. Well, thanks everybody again. And with that, that's our show.